Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Long time no see. My name is Azhar bin Abdul Jalil. I really miss you guys and Professor Dr. Majid and you too. Okay, now my group 7 is going to discuss about technology issues. Okay, my group members are me, Azhar bin Abdul Jalil, Karti, Muhammad Taufik, Fatma Nathan, Sandra Segar, and Siva. Okay, I'm going to talk about technological acceptance theory. So first, we need to define what is technology. Technology is the application of techniques, skills, methods, and processes used in the production of goods or services or in the accomplishment of objectives such as scientific investigation. Okay. Technology in the study and transformation of techniques, tools, and machines created by humans. This allows humans to study and evolve the physical elements that are present in their lives. Okay, the key word here is evolve. Technology evolve. Look at your smartphone. Imagine how it was 10 years ago. Is it this slick? Is it this small? Is it this cool? Okay, imagine your phone 20 years ago. Imagine the phone 100 years ago when Alexander Graham Bell invented the first telephone in 1876. I bet even Alexander Graham Bell cannot picture that his invention would become a great necessity nowadays. With handphone, we can access a lot of information online, all in our grasp, as easy as that. That is just handphone. Imagine other technologies like cars, from cars in the 80s, in the year 80s, in 18th century. The first steam car, it was really basic model. Now it has evolved to a very advanced technological machines. It can give us wonders. The cars nowadays can park for themselves. They can even stop before hitting someone, a human being. It has the kind of sensors that can do that. And you can even talk to your car. For example, hey, Proton, connect me with Dr. Majid. I need to have a presentation with him today. Yeah, something like that, huh? That sounds pretty cool. If you're talking to a car, giving presentation in the car. All right, now moving on. Okay, now we're going to technology acceptance model or TAM. Okay, there are external variables when we're talking about how people accept technologies. First is perceived usefulness. How useful is the technology? Okay, before the pandemic breakout, Google Classroom are mainly used by universities. It's normally used in universities. It's quite easy. I mean, when I first entered IIUM, our holiday mode program, I was very excited to use Google Classroom. Yeah, we use a lot. We learn a lot here. And then when the pandemic break out in March, the schools are closed down, and here we can see how useful is Google Classroom or online learning. At school, teachers find it very useful to use Google Classroom and other e-learning facilities. Very useful. We can interact with students. We can check students' work. Lecturers can check the graduates' work, whether they have ended or not. Okay. It is about usefulness. But when it comes to school students, it comes to the ease of use. This is the key here. It is very useful, but how easy it is to be used by students. Okay, I'm teaching in a high school in an outskirt of Batu Pahat. So not all students have access to fast internet. That's the problem here in Sri Medan, Batu Pahat. The people in Sri Medan town can access internet easily, but Sri Medan is very big. Some students are living in a very remote area in the palm oil estate. Okay, let's say I give them work in Google Classroom. The issues here is students need to use their own Google student email that was provided by the Ministry of Education Malaysia. But students have access using that email. They can only access Google Classroom using their own personal email. But the problem when they are using their personal email, teachers have problem knowing students' real name because they use fancy names in their personal email. So this problem will cause a lot of troubles to teachers to assess students' work. Okay, because some of them are playing with their name, so it's gonna be cost the double, triple work for the teachers to give feedback to the students. Okay, moreover, students in rural areas have, okay, in my school specifically, they don't really want to use Google Classroom or even Telegram because Telegram is a good application too. It has a lot of bots. They can create questionnaires, they can create polls, which is very good for students to answer. But most of them have problem to access that. They don't want to use their data to download such application. They find it is a hassle. Okay, and then they said it use a lot of storage in their phone. Yes, because they don't want to delete some of their favorite mobile games, so they don't want to waste their storage for Telegram. That's what they say. Okay, the application that they like to use the most is WhatsApp to connect with the teachers. That is ease of use. That is the easiest application for them to connect or connect or have communication with their teachers. It's easy, cheap, and the data storage isn't that big. Okay, but it is not very easy for teachers to use and give feedback to students. It's a lot of hassle for teachers to use WhatsApp with students. It's useful, but it's not that easy. So we have to play tug of war with the students here. So some good students can use, some good classes can use GC. Some middle class and the last middle class can use WhatsApp. That's good enough for them. Oh, but when you're using WhatsApp, uh, teachers give instruction in the WhatsApp group for a class. For example, I'm giving instruction in class 5 Daddy. This is the fourth class in my school for Form 5. Okay, I give instruction and students have to give their do their work in 24 hours and snap a picture of their work and send it to me personally as evidence that they have done their work. Okay, after that, I will mark their work online and give feedback online personally to each one of them. And then I will have to list out the names of people who have hand in their work. Okay, that's a lot of work. If I just use Google Classroom, it can be very easy for me to access everyone. I can see who have sent their work and who haven't. Okay, whereas in WhatsApp, I cannot have to do it for every individual and list their names in the WhatsApp group. That's a lot of work because I cannot trust my students to just write their names for those who have handout in the in the WhatsApp group because some of them cannot be trusted and they try to cheat. Some of them try, hey sir, I have hand in the work, but when I look at the personal WhatsApp, there's no work, there's no evidence. So like, hey, don't cheat, okay, don't lie to me. So some students are like that. Okay, okay, that is for the middle class. For the last class, they don't even bother. That's what happened in my school. They don't even bother. When we give online classes, we give online work, try to chat with them, just normal talk. So last classes, we just give them very simple tasks, but they still did not care. Some of them even left the WhatsApp group. That's pretty sad. But as teachers, we have to keep on going, yeah? Okay, so perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, these two things are very important. this comes to the attitude towards using technology. All right. So basically, teachers and lecturers, I think we all love new technologies. Okay, it's just the students. How are the students going to give their feedback? How are they going to use it? So this perceive of ease of use is something that students uh, really need to work on. Okay. Next is the behavioral intention to use. Okay, this other attitude will contribute to the behavioral to use the technology. Okay, like the students in the first class, second class, they know that SPM is very important. So by hook or by crook, they try to connect with the teachers, to study with the teachers online, even though it's very hard for them to do so. Some of them are living in rural areas, so they have to go to the Pekat, the town of Seri Medan to get internet connectivity. So that's how far they have done. Remember, there's even a student in Sabah who had to climb up a tree to do an online test. See, you can see there's a problem with internet connection in Malaysia. I think the company, the telcos need to up their game and provide better coverage for Malaysians throughout the country. It's more fairer like that. Okay. Okay. This in the end, the actual system use is where lecturers or universities, undergrads in universities, teachers at school, and students and pupils and in secondary and primary schools, they perceive, how they accept the technology in their new norm during this post-pandemic era, especially in this movement control order. Okay, this one, for this part, I have talked about it just now. This is just a note. Okay, now we're going to talk about the evolution of ICT or IR 4.0. Okay, mechanization and electricity were the catalysts for the early industrial evolutions and have been recognized as general purpose technologies. However, information and communications technology has emerged as the single most pervasive GPT. From its humble beginnings in facilitating tabulations and record keeping record keeping, ICT has grown over the years to application for myriad needs of including automating mundane, inventory control. Okay, inventory control. Okay, like my school, most schools have already applied the usage of Google Drive when teachers are supposed to hand in their lesson plans every week. Okay, some schools already upgrade their level of storage or inventory control by using online drivers. They are using clouds. It's easy for them. Less papers. This is what we need in this kind of world nowadays. Less papers and more internet storage technology. Okay, like my school, we are still using papers. We do the lesson plans online, but we still have to print it out every week. Okay, that's a lot. For one lesson for class, that's one page. So let's say I have 3 classes per day, 4 classes per day, I need to print 4 pages. 4 pages times 5 days, 20 pages just for 1 week. That's a lot of papers we are wasting. So I really hope school heads will be aware of this and please upgrade their inventory system at school. So, so we have to catch up with the technology nowadays. We need to use less papers. What's the use of great technology nowadays if we are still using papers in inventory control? That is very problematic and a waste of sources. Okay, next we are going to organization, wide enterprise resourcing, customer relationship management. Okay, this is what I like about my school. We have very good customer relationship management. We use WhatsApp groups with parents. Yeah. So not a single parent is left out. So everyone has the involved in WhatsApp group, and information are being given to parents easily. So let's say during this MCO movement control order, we know that a lot of information changing, notification changing. So we need to give parents a really fast announcement. So we use WhatsApp, Facebook, school Facebook, okay, for so parents know what things are going on at school during this MCO. Okay, next. Supply chain management. Okay, supply chain management. Let's say in my school, there's a koperasi. It's a shop for school students where they sell refreshments, stationeries, uh, materials for teaching and learning. Yes, usually pre-MCO, students can go there easily buy photostat stuff. But during MCO, they are restricted to move around. They cannot move around at school easily. So the business for the koperasi went down. Business is quite hard for them. So the boss, the management of the koperasi had to make drastic changes. So they use internet, WhatsApp WhatsApp, which where students can order their needs online through WhatsApp, which will be where the data will store in a page, and the page will be stored in the cloud, and it will transcribe into very neat data for the koperasi to read. So they will know what are the orders that the student want a day before, and then the next day they can hand in the goods that the students ordered the day before to the classes, to the students themselves. Okay, that's where they go to such length just to maintain their business. That's what I respect about these people. Okay, okay, they are really using ICT IR 4.0 to the fullest. Okay, over the years, ICT has transformed the way things are made by integrating contemporary technologies with new or optimized process and methods of doing things. Okay, ICT has a plethora of new technologies, including cloud computing. Cloud computing, please, I need it in my school. Okay, big data and Internet of Things that are enhancing automation and driving increased digitalization, networking and connectivity, resulting in increased levels of industrial intelligence. This technology have become the force of innovation, primarily because traditional industrial technologies have reached their full potential and are not able to address present-day business challenges of compressing production time, slashing cost of production, increasing production flexibility. These are all resulting in an overall increase of business agility. The integration of internet with the manufacturing system has led to the tectonic shift of internet becoming a core influencer and enabler, and transitioning from the erstwhile status as an external factor. So it's the core, okay, not just an external factor anymore. It's become a really big deal nowadays. Manufacturing enterprises are deploying internet technologies across the entire value chain into manufacturing R&D, services, and marketing, thereby streamlining the entire production process and operating model of the enterprise. Okay, today we can see Industrial 4.0, which is digitalization, is applied. Okay, there are introduction of connected devices, data analytics, and artificial intelligence technologies to automate processes further. So this is the keyword here, to automate processes further. It makes things easier for us. Yes, digitalization. Learning in the digitalization world is easier, makes things easier. We don't really need to meet students to make sure they do their work. However, the challenges is something else. Like I said before, the internet connection. If this problem can be curbed, the government can do something. Internet telcos can do something about it. I believe there would be a problem for Malaysian students to excel. Remember, during the MCO, Malaysian teachers have been ranked the highest users of Google Classroom in the world Imagine that. With hundreds of countries in the world, Malaysian ranked first. Malaysian teachers ranked first in Google Classroom usage. See, maybe student teachers they get the salary, but they cannot do their work. I think they feel bad about it. Like me, I get my salary even though I'm not working, so I feel bad about it. I try to reach my students to help them during MCO for the SPM, the big exam in the future, which will decide their future. Okay. Okay. Next, are we going to Industrial 5.0, which is personalization? Let's see how what it is. Okay, the fifth industrial revolution or Industry 5.0 will be focused on the cooperation between man and machine. Man and machine, that sounds like a Terminator movie. Okay, as human intelligence work in harmony with cognitive computing. By putting humans back into industrial production with collaborative robots, workers will be upskilled to provide value-added tasks in production, leading to mass customization and personalization for customers. We can see this already in food industry. You can go to McDonald's counters. We can see that we can opt for to orders who's using the screen. Well, I think that's what they consider as robot. Okay, we can do it on the screen, what we want, what we want to order. We don't even need to meet the people in the counter, at the cashier, at the counter anymore. Okay, just go to McDonald's, use the machine to order, pay online, done, easy. Okay, so we only need to go to the counter if you want some extra, how to say this, to get extra discount or promotions. Yeah, that's what I did if I go to McDonald's. Nowadays, if there are Food Panda, Grab Food, Hello, these are personalization. It's getting easier. We don't have to go outside to the MCO. Just order online. These people, this food company will you send the Grab Food riders, uh, Food Panda riders to our home and make our life easier. But and this is also applied already in uh, other industries such as car industries. When they are manufacturing cars, they are using human and computer along. They get along well. They create the best cars nowadays. Okay. However, when it comes to education, uh, how are they going to adapt personalization in education, industrial 5.0 in education? I believe maybe, just maybe, teachers in the future can cooperate like how they are talking to Siri in the phone, in the iPhone, or just talk to the computer. For example, okay, on LCD, okay, Siri on LCD, Siri, open YouTube for business management or education management for students. The Siri will just provide students with those kind of YouTube and information about it. But lecturers and teachers can assess, can see, or monitor how the students are doing the learning and giving feedbacks for their work. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, things are getting easier in the future. But are this technology going to come to school in the future, in the near coming future? Because schools really need this, but there's a lot of investment going to be by the Ministry of Education of Malaysia. It's a big deal. Yes, teachers need that, schools need that, but does the government want to invest in that kind of technology at schools? That comes a big question. Okay, we hope for the best. We hope for the best. Okay. Yes, we know there are problems coming, but we hope for the best, and we're helping the government to create better human resource, better students for the future. Okay, that's all from me, Azhar bin Abdul Jalil. See you guys soon. Assalamualaikum.
Hi, Doctor. Hi, friends. Today I am going to present about international and global technology issues in schools, college, universities, and other educational institutions, which is public or private. Technology issues are faced by educational leaders internationally. The core challenge for educational leader is to guide the implicit or an explicit negotiations process that must occur to match the demands of innovations, including new technologies, to the exciting existing culture of the school system. Along these lines, from our experience to date, we have identified the following key issues which central office and building level administrators should attend: acquire the technology, coordinate and align curriculum, pedagogy and assessment, recognize and design organizational structures that take advantage of the distributed nature of expertise, make the rationale for technology support public. The first one is acquire the technology. We start here because nothing substitutes for hands-on experience with technology. Every district and school community will experience the introduction of technology differently. Therefore, for all other advice to make sense, it must be constituted in the context of local experience. The second one is coordinate and align curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. Recognize and articulate the curricular reasons that the technology is being implemented. We conjecture that the leadership and management with respect to technology will be made easier if it is guided by a curricular vision. Curricular mandates and vision will serve as a partial guide for the myriad of judgments with which leaders must contend. Part of this guidance we will come from external calls for accountability in light of schools' goals and newly image standard. The third one is recognize and design organizational structures. As Phelan 1999 suggests that recognize and design organizational structures that take advantage of the distributed nature of expertise. A leader should first convene and coordinate corporate and other institutional partners. Second, mobilize teachers, parents, and school partners in pursuit of school goals. Third, cultivate norms of professionalism among all staff members with respect to each individual's role in the health of technical infrastructure. The fourth one, provide professional development opportunities for teachers. Next, make the rationale for technology support public by first setting technology policy and standards. Second, coordinating and implementing strategic planning. Third, maintaining public technology resource inventories, for example, list of contractors, in-house experts, and etc. Last but not least, How COVID-19 exposed challenges for the technology in education. The UNESCO numbers on school closures caused by COVID-19 illustrate the pandemic's overwhelming impact on education throughout the world. At its, at its peak, early April 2020, the nationwide closures of educational institutions were affecting over 91% of the global student population. In absolute numbers, this means that nearly 1.6 billion students in up to 194 countries were impacted by school being shut down. On top of that, digital technology can help boost the role of teachers. Rather than just communicating knowledge, they can become co-creators of knowledge, coaches, mentors, and also evaluators. To ensure digital technology provides equitable and inclusive access to education, we have to focus on closing such digital divides. Projects such as Close the Gap that offer high quality pre-owned computer to educational projects in developing countries are just one example how we can achieve this. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi friends, how are you? Okay, today I would like to present my topic. My topic is nation building and national identify within multiracial country. Okay, nation building is a major issues in the political agenda of many countries. A project made more adverse in a country's fragmented along racial, linguistic, religious lines. Malaysia government used the model of nation state to create a sense of collective national identity in multi-ethnic society. Basically, the Malaysia government used the model of nation state to create sense of collective national identity in a multi-ethnic society of various races, cultures and religions is in debt to most countries, especially in managing the social pluralism. These included the threat of various careers from economic, political and social operation as well as issues related to human rights violations. Okay, in general, in the era of the globalization, the influence of the mass media as well as the social media is enormous of a younger generation, especially student and adolescents. The extent of materials from within or outside a country taught the web and various social media applications available as a cues create problems to the development of society, especially among today teenagers. In the context of Malaysia in particular, 21st century learning in culture diversity is a great unity between various races and ethnic in Malaysia in order eliminate racial prejudice and stereotypes in an effort in cultivating a positive attitude and respect of ethnic, racial, culture difference. Multicultural values should be understood as a set of values that go hand in hand in the social system of a society. challenges nation building and national identity within multiracial country. The issues are islamphobia and prejudice against Muslim among non-Muslim became increasingly apparent after events of September 11, 2001. In fact, Muslims have been considered serious bad prejudice in not only for Muslim but also touch on the question of Islam itself. These prejudices occurs because non-Muslim country, West and even Malaysia itself does not get a clear expectation of the authenticity of Islam teachings. It because Western media sources and channels give bad beside image of Muslim and Islam. Needs to be awareness in society, build civilization and achieve progress status of Malaysia, especially in realizing the vision's common prosperity week 2030 should be based on understanding, tolerance and respect. Human decency in managing difference in a multiracial society need be emphasized. This is a reality must be understood and acceptable by all parents. Conclusion: all parents should be responsible to crying out of obligations. Leaders at various levels especially should be considering the realizing the national unity agenda. Understanding among leaders is also very important because thought is the pupil will get a clear signal to harmonize the relationship of multiracial country is a responsible of all citizens. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We respect to Dr. Abdul Majid and my colleagues. Good day, everyone. Inshallah, I will presenting the topic on resolving the issues on technologies, implementation, and integrating it into our educations. Here is my slides. Resolving issues in technologies implementation in schools. The purpose is to present common challenges faced by educators when attempting to integrate and implement technology in the classroom and offer potential solution to deal to those problems that have been stated previously. Adaptation of curricular and teaching techniques to incorporate new educational tools, technologies integration present significant challenges to educators at each level of school system and due to COVID-19 pandemic worldwide. Generally, teacher, student, and stakeholders appreciate the benefits of educational technologies. They often find smooth and effective integration of new educational technologies are challenging. Recognizing barriers that are internal to teachers, including their attitudes and belief, resistance toward technology in the classroom, and their knowledge and skills. Recognizing the challenges to technology integration that are external, extrinsic to the teachers, including access to resource, training, and support. The studies and presentation concludes with a condensed strategies and action plan for effective technologies implementation and integration in school and education as a whole, inshallah. Next slide is on the internal factors. First is teachers' attitudes and belief. are crucial factors in determining the role and effectiveness of technology in classroom. Attitudes and beliefs about both educational technology and pedagogy in general will ultimately influence how teachers implement technology. Confidence in skills and knowledge of teachers are crucial. It is essential that teachers feel comfortable and confident about their ability to use them effectively. Many current teachers grow up without access to technologies like the personal computer and internet. But students nowadays are raised in environments saturated by computer technology. About technology and learning, different experience with different paradigm shift from the teacher-centered classroom to the student-centered classroom and vice versa. Teachers resistant to technology in the classroom, the most common reason mentioned by teachers for not actively integrating new technologies is that many teachers are satisfied with their current lesson plans. As a consequence, decisions about technology are often made by school or district administrators without input from teachers and stakeholders. There also be on external factors, access constraint. If a teacher's school does not possess adequate computers and fast internet connection, the implementation of educational technology is not feasible at all. Challenge of inadequate training related technology. If teachers are not provided effective professional development on new technologies, they will not be capable of using it to its full potential. Support constraint. Support barriers to technology integration include inadequate technical support and administrative or peer support and community as a whole. Inconsistent computer access make it extremely difficult for instructors to integrate technology into existing lesson plans. Most thing is budget constraint. With limited federal, state, and local funding, school may lag behind than other schools that have sufficient budget. COVID-19 pandemic worldwide, teaching issues on how to deliver content is most important things that school administrators and the stakeholders have to solve it as soon as possible. Going to the next slide, so right, you all to see the quarantine time and the effect teachers and students as a whole. It's one of the issues that facing teachers while on quarantine time. There's a lack of internet penetrations to the student, especially my area is a rural area. There's a low internet penetration. It's around 25 to 30%. This means the content that teachers upload cannot be useful to the student actually. We go to the next slide. Strategies resolving the issues. All the stakeholders have to develop and implement a rolling out comprehensive and ongoing implementation, especially in new normal. Plan to technology access one level at a time. Working collaboratively with individual teachers or group of teachers to integrate technology into instruction. Assisting with curriculum and content development, disseminating information regarding technology resources, emerging technologies, best practice using technologies, and professional development opportunities. All these stakeholders have to facilitating or conducting technology-related professional development for school staff, assessing level of teachers and student technology use and skills, modeling effective instructional strategies using technology, serving as a member of the school technology committee, supporting implementation of the division and state technology plan as a whole, researching use of new technologies in instructions and allocating sufficient budget to the school. Allocating sufficient budget to the school is one of the most important things. As, as far as I can see that on the rural area, especially in my schools, is most of the technology must be upgraded, whether it's software or on hardware. On conclusion, they have an action plan for technology implementation. It is extremely important that teachers have a say in what technology they will use in their instruction. Teaching is a deeply personal experience. When educators feel as though they have lost the ability to teach in a manner that best suits them, it can be frustrating and discouraging. Encouraging acceptance of classroom technology is a call for better organization of available technologies, better organization of empirically validated educational technologies will serve to save valuable time and place less burden on the teachers. Effective educators must not only be domain experts, but also understand how to flexibly use the affordances of different pedagogies for particular content topics. In house training, teachers are likely to understand exactly how these implementation mechanisms work and therefore will optimize their effectiveness in teaching. Technology integration as well in the classroom require the ongoing collaborative efforts of teachers, educational technology professionals, school administrators, researchers, and educational software personnel must collaborate all together to make sure the objective is well achieved. All stakeholders must take part to yield tremendous return and stay safe during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much.